In the world of medicine, some misunderstandings are way more dangerous than others. Today, we're going to tackle a really common but critical myth in transfusion medicine, one that can put a patient's life on the line. So picture this. A patient is in desperate need of blood, but the lab can't find a single compatible unit. They call the physician, who fires back with this demand. It sounds decisive, right? Like a quick-thinking, life-saving move, but is it really? And that's the big question here. This gets right to the heart of a misconception that could kick off a catastrophic immune reaction. We're going to break down exactly why this request, even though it's made with the best intentions, is based on a huge mistake. This whole explainer actually got started because of a real question from someone working in a blood bank. A doctor, in a tough spot with no compatible blood, was adamant that just washing and filtering a unit would make it safe to give. And this isn't just a one-off thing, it's a surprisingly common belief. So how do you even begin to explain why that just doesn't work? To really see why that request is so flawed, we first have to get the basics of blood compatibility down. And, the easiest way to think about it is with a simple analogy, a lock and a key. All right, so every single red blood cell from a donor is covered in these tiny little markers called antigens. For our purposes, just think of them as unique locks that are all over the cell's surface. Okay, so if the donor cells have the locks, the patient's body has the keys. These are called antibodies, and they're just floating around in the patient's plasma looking for one very specific type of lock to fit into. And here's where it all comes together. On the left side, you see a compatible match. The patient's keys don't fit the donor's locks. It's all good. The cells can just go about their business safely. But on the right, that's an incompatible match. The key slides right into the lock, a perfect fit. This triggers a massive alarm, and the patient's immune system launches an all-out attack on those transfused blood cells, which, trust me, can be devastating. So let's get back to what the doctor was asking for. They wanted washed and filtered blood. Now, these are real medical procedures, but what they're actually for is widely misunderstood. Let's take a look at what they really do. This table lays it all out pretty clearly. Washing blood, that removes plasma proteins to help prevent allergic reactions. Filtering, that gets rid of white blood cells to stop fevers. And irradiation, that deals with donor T cells to prevent a really rare but deadly condition. But notice what's missing. What's not on this list? Not a single one of these processes is designed to remove the antigens, the locks, from the surface of the red blood cells. And this right here, this brings us to the main event, the big aha moment, where this pervasive myth collides with cold, hard, scientific fact. So here we go, a regular old donor red blood cell. See all those little markers sticking out from the surface? Those are the antigens, the locks we've been talking about. They are a fundamental built-in part of that cell. Okay, now let's wash it, let's filter it, let's even irradiate it. Now what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing changes. The locks are still there. If the blood was incompatible before all this, it is still 100% incompatible now. The core problem has not been touched at all. So, the most crucial point is this, and the source material puts it perfectly. These procedures have zero effect on the antigens. You just can't wash or filter away a fundamental biological mismatch. It's impossible. So if the science is this clear, you have to wonder, why does this myth stick around, even among doctors? Well, the reasoning usually falls into one of four flawed theories. Let's break them down. First, some doctors just have a pure misconception. They genuinely believe processing will magically fix the test. We've just proven that's false. The second is the safety net theory. This idea that, okay, even if the blood is incompatible, washing it will somehow stop the patient's body from attacking it. Also false. The third theory is that processing will make the immune attack less severe. Again, totally incorrect. And finally, number 4 is a little different. It's when doctors know a reaction is coming, but they hope that by removing other potential side effects, they can just isolate and manage that one big incompatibility reaction. This is a very different kind of gamble, basically deciding to transfuse incompatible blood on purpose, which is a whole other level of risk. Understanding all this isn't just some academic exercise. This is a huge patient safety issue. Acting on this myth can have severe, and I mean severe, consequences. It can even be fatal. So here it is, the key takeaway. Blood processing techniques are valuable, important tools. They can prevent specific side effects like allergies or fevers, but what they cannot do is fix a core antigen-antibody mismatch. They are completely powerless against a fundamental incompatibility. This whole situation is just a powerful reminder, isn't it? What feels like a clever shortcut in a moment of crisis might actually be a really dangerous detour away from the core principles of patient safety. It leaves us with a pretty critical question to think about. What other common knowledge in medicine is actually a myth we need to bust next?